Welcome back, traders. So what is going on with this US dollar? So let's go and have a look at the euro dollar, the biggest, most popular pair to trade and the one where we typically get the best trades from. I'm starting off on the 4-hour chart here. You can see that I've got these two lines still drawn in from when we were looking at that range, and it did range and then broke through. It came, it tested, and now came down again. But now I've added this third line at the bottom because you'll see here that we've hit twice pretty hard, and we had a sharp reversal from this point as well. So this line seems to be doing quite a lot of damage to the price. And if we have a look on the daily, we can see that in history, it was a very strong support line. Remember, this is a daily. So from up here down to there, that's over a week. That's 8 working days. So it's nearly 2 actual weeks of the price market coming down. And then suddenly it shoots up pretty far before we see another reversal. We also saw a massive weekend break and it retraced down towards this line here at the bottom. So we know that this price range does seem very important. So now we need to figure out what is going to be happening at this level. See, we've hit it again, it's tested, it's come down, but now it's moving quite sideways. So a lot of news has been coming out of the US dollar. Every time Trump opens his mouth, something happens, but luckily governments aren't controlled just by one person. So a lot of the economic policies are still not controlled by him, and things are pretty much business as usual over there. But the US dollar has had a very strong run for the last, let's have a look here, for the last 52 working days. So that's just over 10 actual weeks that the US dollar's had a very nice run. Now, could things be changing for it? Well, if we have a look at JP Market's economic calendar, let's just load it up. We've got some news coming out this afternoon. Here we go. We've got the non-manufacturing PMI. Now, how this one works is it looks at industry growth for everything to do with not manufacturing. So this is primarily services and that sort of thing. How the number value works is 50 would mean that there's no growth. Above 50 is growth and below 50 is deflation, or the industry is going lower. So the previous one had a decent growth. 56.8 is a pretty good score on this. And we are forecasting the next one to be even higher. So if this comes out above 50 again, then we could see that the US dollar is going to keep on getting stronger. If for some reason it comes out below 50, that'll be quite an upset, quite a major shock, and we will see a sudden change in the US dollar. Now that will affect more than just the euro dollar. We'll also have to look at the pound dollar, the dollar yen, and a couple of the other currencies and see if there's a turning point. But specifically on the euro dollar, we're at a turning point now. If we see that things are still good out of the US dollar, then I strongly suspect that this will continue its short position down, and we should be able to break this level within about 2 weeks. And that would be quite a big trade. There we go, nearly 200 pips we would make off that coming down. We also have the jobs openings category. Now, when this comes out at the same time as the non-manufacturing PMI, we will see if there have been more jobs than expected created. So if this value comes out at higher than 6.49, and we see that this is above 50 and hopefully above even this 57.9, then I think that we will see a nice short movement happening off here, off the euro dollar. So we'll just have to sit and wait a couple of hours and see what's going to happen there. We do have some candle information here. We do have a short pin bar, which is signaling that it should be going short, but we always need to confirm with something. And if we line up that tail, we can see that it hits almost exactly with where it came down here. So from the technical analysis side, if we're using price action, we are expecting a short position coming down off here. And then we should have a couple targets which we can aim for. I'm going to mark some down here now. See where this came down and turned, it's at a very similar level to where it was tested here. So we could say that about this price range would be the first target and the most likely target to hit. Then further down, where we had it tested at this level, and you can see here we had a reversal. So somewhere between those two, we would have a second potential. And the biggest is if news all lines up, if market sentiment is still very favorable towards the US dollar, and the technical analysis doesn't give us a change saying that, well, actually it's going to turn bullish, then we could be looking at breaking this low down here. Now this one is quite unlikely to happen in the short term. So this would be the sort of trade that you will have to hold for quite some time. But let's say we enter at about the current level and you make that trade, you're looking at just under 180 pips on that. So we're going to sit and watch the euro US dollar. We're going to see what the news is going to do for us, see if it confirms a short position, see if the short pin bar works out, and if market sentiment agrees, then I think we might hop onto a trade and play it all the way down.